Hey gorgeous, thank you for tuning back into my channel. Today I have a fragrance video that is centered around creamy coconut fragrances for the spring and summer. I pulled some of the ones that I am super excited to wear this spring and summer, and so if you're interested in seeing what they are, then please keep watching. Hey beauty, thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. To those of you who have just discovered my channel, over here I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, and I also sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle in my monthly vlogs. So if any of those things interest you, then please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. The first fragrance I wanted to feature in this video is Kissa Pink by Paris Corner. Kissa Pink is very new to my collection, and when I smell Kissa Pink, I get a very apple forward, coconut milk, very creamy, very lactonic sort of fragrance. To my nose, it's also super sweet and sugary. I've had this fragrance for about 3 weeks now, and now when I spray it, it's very potent, whereas when I first got it, it was very light. And so I'm really interested to see how this fragrance continues to mature over time. But what I'm getting from this scent is just a very creamy, coconutty, apple forward fragrance that is sugared, super duper sweet. I mean, this smells like the color pink, in my opinion. To me, this one is fun, it's very girly, it's super duper sweet. Like there's a toothache inducing sweetness in here, and it's also fruity and milky. You get that coconut milk. So if you do not like lactonic scents, if you tend to think lactonic fragrances smell sour, then this may be one you might want to avoid, because this definitely has that effect. I, however, tend to love lactonic scents, and so this is really nice, but this is one I'm still getting to know, and so I don't know whether this is a love yet, but I definitely like this fragrance. So this is Kissa Pink by Paris Corner. So this next one is Huda Beauty's Easy Bake Eau de Parfum. I won't spend too much time discussing this one because it's not available at the moment. It's out of stock, but I have done a video where I review this fragrance, so I will link it here so that if you're interested, you can go back and watch. But this is a very unique fragrance in that it has a very creamy floral, it has a beautiful coconut note, and it has like this talc powder sort of vibe on the dry down. So I love this fragrance. It's very creamy, it's very velvety, it's super duper sweet. It has a very edible smelling quality to it, and I don't currently have anything like this in my perfume collection. This is also very long lasting as well. I was surprised at how long lasting this fragrance is. So yes, if you're interested, go and watch that, but I love the coconut in this fragrance because the coconut here is not like your sunscreen type of coconut. It's more of a milky and meaty coconut water meets coconut milk. It's the coconut in more of a natural state as opposed to an artificial sort of scent. I love this one. So if you're interested in the video, I will link it here. This next fragrance is Dolce Garden by Dolce & Gabbana. This is an oldie but goodie, and I picked this one up at Joma Shop because I don't think you can find this anywhere else right now. And this is a fragrance that I first got my nose on at the beginning of my fragrance journey, and I never picked it up. And then I saw it one day and I said to myself, I really want to have this fragrance in my collection. It smells really, really good. Dolce Garden is very creamy. It's very coconutty, very tropical, lactonic as well. It's fruity. There's a slight floral component to this fragrance, and it's just so, so good. It opens up sort of bright and citrusy with some beautiful florals, and then you start to get into that creamy component because at the mid of this fragrance, you have tropical flowers like frangipani and ylang ylang, and then that beautiful meaty milky coconut, and then at the base you have another dose of milk because there's almond milk at the base with sandalwood and vanilla. So this fragrance is overall very creamy, very lactonic, very tropical, sort of thick and sweet, and I love it. This is Dolce & Gabbana's Dolce Garden. This next fragrance is coconut forward, but it also has this really sweet and resinous vibe, and that is Viktor & Rolf's Flower Balm Tiger Lily. I have done a video all about Tiger Lily, so if you want more of an in-depth review on this fragrance, I will link the video here. But Tiger Lily is a very beautiful scent. It's a very easy to wear, very likable scent that is compliment getting. You will get compliments with this fragrance. It's just such a pleasant scent. So this one opens up with a very bright freshness. There's a gorgeous coconut in the opening. The coconut in here does have a little bit more of that artificial type of coconut. And as a matter of fact, Dolce Garden's coconut is not the most natural smelling coconut either. The coconut in Tiger Lily, you really get it at the opening, and first blast gives you that gorgeous coconut and bergamot. And the coconut in here is not the most natural smelling coconut. It has more of that artificial coconutty vibe, but it is a very, very smooth coconut. As a matter of fact, I think it's coconut milk and not just coconut. So the opening is very bright, it's creamy, it's coconutty, and it's very refreshing. And then this starts to dry down, and that's when you start to get some of the other notes. You start to get florals, and then you start to get a beautiful mango. There is benzoin at the base of this, and to my nose, the mango is very creamy and very rich, and the florals are more so supporting notes. So overall, I think this is a gorgeous scent. It is a very likable scent, a crowd-pleasing scent, one that I get compliments on when I wear it. It's sweet and creamy, but it's not dense or cloying, and I love that about this fragrance. So that makes it really nice for the springtime, and I'd be interested to see how this wears in the summer, if I'm going to feel like this is cloying in the summer. As of right now, it's been absolutely beautiful for springtime. So yes, this is Flower Bomb Tiger Lily by Viktor and Rolf. This next fragrance is coconut done in a very unique way. This is Queening by Mind Games. If you've been subscribed to my channel for even a short while now, you probably know how much I love this fragrance. I just love this fragrance because it gives off such a sweet and sophisticated and very soft vibe because of the way the notes are done in here. This is a fragrance where the coconut is done very differently than you would expect. I feel like the way the coconut is done in here is very similar to the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Eau de Parfum because it has this sort of powdery, buttery, creamy vibe from the Orris in here. And I feel like the Easy Bake Eau de Parfum also has this very powdery like presence, almost like a talc powder, which gives you like a velvety and buttery and powdery and sort of soft effect. And I feel like that's what I get in this one because of the Orris note. So this also has a gorgeous saffron, which I feel like is more of a sprinkle of saffron, not really a huge dose of saffron. It also has a very slight amount of rum, which adds to the depth of this fragrance. And I love the way that this fragrance comes across. It's unlike anything I've ever smelled, and it's just delightful. It's just delightful. I love this fragrance so much. I've talked about this fragrance probably ad nauseum by this point, so I'll just link a video where you can hear more of my thoughts on it here. So this next one is for my beauties who love a good Arabian fragrance. This is Forbidden Sugar by Amir, which I believe is a Paris Corner brand. This is supposed to be a dupe for Frank Bouclé's Sugar, and while I have never smelled the OG, I do think this is a very interesting and very nice fragrance. I haven't been reaching for this one too much, and I'll tell you why in just a moment, but I do think this is a very nice fragrance. So this fragrance is very sweet, it's very fresh as well. There are florals in here. It's very candy-like, but also a little bit shampoo-y and then slightly musky on the dry down. So this is a fragrance that is very interesting. It has a marshmallow vibe in the opening because it does have marshmallow. There's honey. I definitely detect the honey. It's a very potent honey note, but not an animalic honey. It's more of an artificial honey, but a very generous dose and amount of honey nonetheless. There is a cassis at the top of this, which gives this fragrance a very juicy and fruity opening, and there's also coconut and bergamot in this fragrance. The coconut is at the very top of this fragrance, so this is not a coconut forward fragrance. I feel like the coconut is more of a balanced note along with those other fruity and sweet components. The mid of this fragrance is supposed to have caramel, but I don't really pick up on too much caramel. I do pick up on just an overall very juicy, fruity mid. And then on the dry down of this, I start picking up on a very powdery and musky effect. There is an overall shampoo-y vibe to this fragrance, and also like this hint of aftershave. It sounds strange, but there's a hint of like an aftershave effect in this fragrance. That's why I haven't been reaching for this as much. When I first picked this up, I didn't mind the aftershave effect, but now that this has gotten more mature, I feel like that aftershave sort of soapy scent is really strong and very potent. And because of that, I haven't been reaching for this one as much as I thought I would. So for me, although this one smells very fluffy and sweet and honeyed and fruity and slightly musky, slightly powdery, smells really, really good, I haven't been reaching for this one because the aftershave soapy vibe has been putting me off as of late. So this is one that I'm probably going to end up giving away on the community tab, so please stay tuned for that. I'm really sad because I loved this fragrance when I first got it. I still love it now. When I put it to my nose, it smells really good. It smells very bright, very fresh, very sweet, very fun, just very playful. But I am also picking up on that aftershave sort of soapy vibe, and it's really taking away from me being able to enjoy the other beautiful notes in this fragrance. But the coconut in here is very balanced. So this isn't coconut forward. However, I did want to put this in the video for those of you who love a good Arabian fragrance. Maybe you have this one and you forgot that there's a coconut note in here. There is a coconut note at the very opening of this fragrance, and it's very balanced in here. So this is Forbidden Sugar by Amir. This fragrance is one that I'm currently testing out. It is very new to my collection. I just opened it today, but it does have a very nice coconut milk note. And this is Melon Kiss, the Extrait de Parfum by Navitus and Gabby Loves Perfumes here on YouTube. Like I said, I just opened this one up today. It's my fragrance of the day. I am testing it out to give you all an update. So if you have not watched the video on this, it will probably have gone up before this video. So if you're interested in this fragrance, I will go ahead and link the video here so you can get some more details on it. So this fragrance is very mouth-watering. I would say this fragrance is equally honey-dew melon and coconut milk. I feel like the coconut and the melon notes are very prominent in this fragrance. In the opening, you get a blast of melon, and bergamot sort of adds to the freshness. So the opening is very bright, very fresh, very ozonic, very mouth-watering, super juicy, almost like you're smelling a fruit salad. Then at the mid, you get some more honeydew melon, and that honeydew melon sort of shares the spotlight with coconut milk. On my skin, I really started to pick up on that coconut note as this began to dry down, and then I started picking up on a very honeyed vanilla, and this just turned very silky and very sweet and slightly creamy. It's not overly creamy or overly dense, but definitely slightly creamy, and the sweetness in here is not overdone. It's a very doable sweetness no matter what your fragrance taste is. So far, I am loving the honeydew melon and the coconut, the mix of those two notes. I'm absolutely loving them. I love the way that the vanilla and the honey comes through on the dry down on my skin, and so far so good with this. Definitely check out the video where I talk about my experience in more detail so that you can hear a little bit more about Melon Kiss. The last fragrance in this video is new to my collection and one that I am obsessed with currently, and that is Ker-leen's newest Sunkissed Goddess. A couple of you have let me know that this is a limited edition fragrance, and although I've been wanting to really spray this and just wear it every single day, that's given me a little bit of pause because I'm currently obsessed with this fragrance. And so if it's limited edition, I need to slow down on spraying this juice. This fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. When you look at the very simplistic note breakdown on the website as well as on Sephora's website, you may be led to think that this is just your run-of-the-mill sunscreen-like type of fragrance. But I would argue that this is completely opposite of that. To my nose, this is an elevated, tropical, creamy, coconut-forward fragrance that is perfect for summer evenings, for vacation, for going out to dinner while you're on vacation. It has a very rich and resinous vibe to it. It's very sexy, and I just love this fragrance. It's so alluring and addictive. There is a slight lactonic vibe to this fragrance. There are tropical florals in here. It's very vanilla, very creamy, very sweet, and overall I was not expecting to love this as much as I do. So what I love about this fragrance is that while it opens up fresh, it quickly gets very creamy and tropical because you have tiare and ylang ylang at the mid of this fragrance. So those are some very creamy florals that are slightly indolic, especially the tiare flowers. And then you have ylang, and ylang is one of my favorite fragrance notes at the moment because it has this nuance of banana. It has this sort of like sweet and rich essence, and I love the way that it comes across in a tropical fragrance. And then at the base you have the coconut, the vanilla. Then Fragrantica lists labdanum and gaiac wood, which explains why I am getting such a richness and a very sweet depth from this fragrance. Gaiac wood has a very balsamic nature and sort of like a woody, leathery type of vibe. And then it has labdanum, which again, labdanum is another very deep note that has a balsamic vibe with a leathery undertone. So the base of this fragrance is very rich, very creamy, very deep. And so it takes it from being just your run-of-the-mill sunscreen type of coconut fragrance to something much more elevated. Before I learned that this was a limited edition, I was going to do a dedicated review for this fragrance, but now that I've learned it's a limited edition, I'm not so sure that that is a video I should do, because if this fragrance goes out of stock, then the video wouldn't be very helpful. So if that's something that you all want to see, definitely drop it down in the comments and let me know if you would like a review for Sunkissed Goddess. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another video. Thank you for still being here. If you're still here, let me know what are some of your favorite coconut fragrances that you're looking forward to wearing. If you're not a coconut girl, let us know as well, and let us know why in the comments. And if you don't have anything to say, just drop me an emoji so that I know you were here. Before we go our separate ways today, I just want to remind you to keep shining, keep smiling, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and being your truest, most unique self. That is the greatest gift you can give to yourself, to those around you, and to the world at large. I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.